This drama is too much to handle. So I had to bring out the big guns. These sunglasses were sent to me by a subscriber, actually. Thank you, everyone. Anyway, James Charles has posted a new video. And he has receipts for days, honey. This receipt's actually from the Family Dollar. But whatever. I've been taking notes about his video. Bulletin points, if you will. My Egon Sheila little notebook. This is so much. This is so much. I was trying to have a peaceful Saturday, but let's get into it, babies. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get bumpy. I'd like to start this video out with the tweets that were tweeted at the time of posting and directly after from James and Jeffrey. So here they are. So James tweeted, "I'm literally begging all of you. The internet has seen enough negativity in the last few weeks. Text your friends and tell them you love them. Give someone a compliment, but don't be too forward. Appreciate what you have and those around you. Love you all. I made my video today not to start a war, but to take responsibility for my actions and clear my name. There are two sides to every story, and now you've heard both. I'm sure more will be said, but I'm moving on. Don't send hate to anybody." And then Jeffrey tweeted, "Before you believe anything that was said today, remember there are always two sides to every story." Kind of interesting that him and James kind of said the same thing. Before we get into this video, I do just want to say that it was very clever of James to wear Adidas in his video, because just saying, that kind of won me over a little bit, but just a little bit. I'm being shady. Anyway, let's get into the video. So, bulletin number 1 in my journal. Sugar Bear hair. Okay, so James is pretty much still saying that Tati is incorrect in her assumptions about how it all happened. He had VIP tickets. He needed artist pass to be more protected, blah, blah, blah. But the only reason I'm mentioning this is because James has finally admitted that he did sign a contract with them. Because he had never really admitted that before. And whenever Tati said that there was contracts involved, people were kind of shook. I knew all along there was most likely a contract involved because he did use the hashtag ad on his story promoting Sugar Bear hair, sleep vitamins, whatever the fuck they are. Moving on. When referencing the allegations made about him, being inappropriate with straight boys, by others and the boys involved, he kind of deflected and just said he doesn't get a lot of action. And he's like, I'm only 19, I'm young, whatever. Action besides, there have still been some questionable exchanges between you and other young men. Just saying. It's okay, because I'm a celebrity. I'm rich and famous. So James claimed that he never said that in a meaningful way. It's apparently an inside joke between him and his friends. But from my experience, inside jokes come from a place of truth. They may say that in a joking way, but I think it started because James probably said it a few times and meant it. But who knows, that's mere speculation. But I thought that was an interesting little tidbit from the video. One of the many receipts that James posted was a text from Seattle Sam. Yes, we are calling him Seattle Sam now. It was from the DMs that Sam had sent him, James, on Instagram the day after Tati's birthday dinner. And Sam had claimed in his video that he told James he was bi-curious, but James put a screenshot and Sam did say he was bi. Does that make that big of a difference? I don't know. Again, just adding context to all of this mess. In Tati's original video entitled Bye Sister, she stated that her and her husband, also named James, had sat James down before and tried to convey to him that all of this straight guy business is going to get him in trouble one day. James confirmed this. Tati and James did sit James down and tell him about this, but James said that Tati's main point was that someone's going to use the stuff against him one day, and it could look really bad. And then James went on to say, well, you know, Tati is the one who ended up doing that. Very interesting. Maybe Tati had it in the back of her mind all along that something like this would happen and she would speak out. Maybe not. Maybe James misheard. Who knows? But I do think it's interesting that they did, in fact, sit James down to discuss this. And that James said, Tati warned him that this would become public one day. Now it gets to the interesting part of James's video. Oh, the Jeffree Star drama. Girl, James provided lots of receipts. Lots and lots of receipts. Here we go. Now, from what I've been able to tell, James realized that he may have drama with Jeffree too with this tweet. People were tagging James in it, telling him it was about him. He asked Jeffree about it, and Jeffree said it wasn't about him. But, you know, James, still feeling uneasy, kept trying to reach out to Jeffree, and their schedules were conflicting, and it never really happened. Now, after the nonsense ended, you know, it came to a head because Jeffree messaged James this. Jeffree said, "We definitely need to talk soon. Tati and Shane and a few others told me everything you have said about me over the last 6 months. I am heartbroken, disgusted, and so sad to hear everything, but shockingly not surprised. I have only ever been a great friend to you and never said anything bad about you behind the scenes, which is obviously not the case for you." Now, when Jeffree says that people, Tati and Shane and others, told him that James had been talking shit behind his back for 6 months, I tend to believe that. Whether it's all 100% factual or a little exaggerated, now that's up to you to decide. But someone who has been a fan of Jeffree since MySpace days, if you cross him, he's coming for you. He's coming for you. And I feel like everybody knows that. Now, this escalated quickly, as you're about to see. Jeffree said, "Are you going to respond to everything or pull a Manny 2.0? Oh, the shade. When you basically trapped Sam in your hotel room in Seattle and psychologically forced him to stay and made him feel horrible for their pennies you spent on the room, I knew something was terribly wrong with you. When Zach showed me the Snapchat messages of you trying to force him to like you and send him photos, it was completely horrifying to see. You used the same sentences as a rapist would use. He was so grossed out by your behavior and the way that you tried to make him feel bad for not reciprocating the same feelings." Now, as you guys know, Zach is Nate's brother. James had this to say about the matter.
Great, but it was actually Jeffree who suggested that I talk to him in the first place.
Hey, Nate's brother is single and mainly straight. Oh. Right up your alley.
Sounds good.
And he...
Sounds great for me.
Uh-huh. And he just moved here. Work.
Zach and I talked on Snapchat for maybe a total of 10 selfies back and forth to each other. He was super, super sweet, but it was very clear to me that he was not actually interested, and the conversation stopped before anything could even get remotely flirty at all. With everything going on, I did not reply to Jeffree's text in the moment. Now,
in my opinion, it was obvious that Jeffree was joking about James getting with Zach. It was a little bit of poking fun at James liking the straight dudes. I don't think that warrants James ever trying to hit up Zach on Snapchat and be like, no, James said, you know, it was obvious it wasn't going anywhere, so we quit. Zach and Jeffree obviously saying something else. Maybe the actual receipts will come out on that in the future. Who knows?
I really want to read this text out loud just so you all get to hear exactly what I had to read, but also so I don't miss anything. Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker. Next, Zach will be going on camera to tell how twisted and sick you were, trying to get him to like you and then make him feel bad when he didn't want to send you photos back. Then Sam from Seattle will be joining me and Cameron to talk about you trapping him in his hotel room. You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society. As disgusting as it is, I have to admit, bringing up Grayson Dolan was pretty clever. At the height of all these allegations and stories going around, both of the twins unfollowed me, not wanting to be associated, and fans started speculating that the rumors could be as to why. Too bad that aside from our pre-planned collaborative jokes that happened in the Sister Squad videos, me and Grayson flirting, nothing ever happened between us. And when all this went down, I knew Jeffree was lying because the twins were two of the first people to call me and make sure that I was okay.
Now that I find interesting. First of all, Jeffree went in on James. Second of all, the Grayson situation. I understand James is saying that's just simply not true, but what does Jeffree have to gain by making that up and lying about it? Because Jeffree had to assume that at some point that text would become public. If that's completely fabricated, people would end up finding out. Like, I don't understand what Jeffree would have to gain from lying about that. I don't know. This got real messy though. Real messy. Now this video is already long as fuck. So I'm just going to summarize the rest. James said that tickets are selling well for the tour. From a few videos I've seen, I'm not sure how true that is, but whatever. Now, as far as the tour being canceled, James said that he's waiting for an update on that as well. So, it seems like someone else is pulling the strings on that, and it'll be interesting to see. Killer merch. A lot of people have noticed that James's, Sisters Apparel store has been taken offline, and it says, sign up for emails for updates when we'll be back or whatever. Lots of people speculated that Jeffree's merch company, Killer Merch, had dropped James. James made it sound like it was his decision to not work with Jeffree any longer.
Many of you guys noticed that the Sisters Apparel website was down. I was so excited about a lot of the things that we had coming very, very soon, and just the line in general. I am so grateful for all of your guys' love and support on it. It was really, really fun to work on. I also love the team that I worked on it with, but unfortunately I had to sever ties with Killer Merch. I just don't see a world that exists where I could ever be in business with a team ran by someone like Jeffree Star.
James also said that he's going to be stepping back and taking a break from his YouTube channel. He said that he's noticed quite a few comments in the last, month or so saying that his ego's got a little big and his attitude's gotten a little sour. And he's taken that into consideration on top of all of this recent drama. So it seems like him and Tati both will be back when they come back. They're going to deal with this shit behind the scenes. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe everything will work out. Maybe more shit will be exposed. Maybe Jeffree will come out and tell his side in a video. Maybe Grayson will actually post the video Jeffree was talking about. Maybe Zach and Nate will get on camera and talk about it. Who knows at this point? I have noticed a lot of people are buying James's apology in his video. To me, it seemed like he was deflecting a lot. He was being defensive a lot. And he was changing the subject a lot. And usually when someone's doing those things, it means that there's stuff they don't want to admit. But I don't know, you know, everybody lately has been saying, you know, don't send hate to people, blah, 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 whatever. I get that, you know, because what we do here on YouTube, you know, we like watching, we like observing, and we like, you know, conversing about things. Do we need to say unnecessary things and be unnecessarily mean? No. But this shit is pretty entertaining. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like this video if you haven't already, because it does help me out. Yeah, I'm just curious to know what y'all think about this. I don't know. I'm kind of shook by James's video. It's interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was interesting. And it made all of our Saturdays more interesting. But anyway, guys, it's all relative. Don't sweat the small stuff. Ignore the stinky butt trolls. And try and spread positivity when you can. And just because you're positive doesn't mean you can't be a little shady here and there. Love you guys. Thanks for watching this incredibly long video. If you did make it to the end. And if you did, thank you so much. But anyway, bye. See you in the next one, which will hopefully be soon.